praying about it a little bit, and I think that this verse in Colossians, since then you have been raised with Christ, set your hearts on things above where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things above, not earthly things, for you died and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. So I think, like, for the new year, staying focused and not getting distracted, keeping our eyes, setting our minds on him,
Yeah, no, that's I think it's almost just kind of like, like set your mind on things above, set your mind on not worldly things and not try to have understanding, not like me and Justin Yoakum talked about this yesterday, where you sit and you try to make conversation or have arguments or discussions with people about worldly issues, and you try to make understanding of it that only brings division.
Right.
Right. So you try to understand like why people do this and why people do that. Eventually, that's going to lead to like disagreement, whether that disagreement's met with a friendly disagreement or it ends in division. Right. Where if you set your mind on things above, or like Proverbs 3:5, where it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not rely on your own understanding. Mm-hmm. In all your ways know Him, and He will make your path straight. Don't be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil."
Yeah.
This will be your healing for your body and strengthen for your bones. Honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first produce, like first fruit. Like I love like how. All throughout the book, it talks about like the first fruit, right, and how that like historically back in those days was like an honoring thing, like I'm gonna give you like the first fruit of my harvest. And that's like it's a big deal, And God calls us; He tells us that we're His first fruit. Like,
right.
And it says if you do that, then your barns will be completely filled and your vats will overflow with new wine. And do not despise the Lord's instruction, my son, and do not loathe His discipline. Like we talked about in that men's group the other day, right, where we talked about like God will have compassion on who's going to have compassion, and He'll like, I can't remember what it talks about. He'll like, I don't want to say punish, but it talks about He will have justice or something, or something.
So, both those verses we both read kind of tie in together, right? Like not relying on our understanding and keeping our eyes on Him.
Yeah, and for me specifically as well, like not only that's just kind of like an always thing. Like, trying to like, because if I try to like make understand of everything, like you probably heard me say this a lot. Like I don't understand this. Like I say that like all the time, and I try to catch myself and be like, well, it's not my job to truly understand like why we humans or people choose to do what we do. Like we just got to give that away. I will show mercy to whom I will show mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Right, so that it does not depend on human effort. Right. So then He has mercy on whom He wants to have mercy, and He hardens whom He wants to harden. So like back where we were just saying in Proverbs, like, do not loathe His discipline. Like, that's there's always reasons. God, everything works for good, right? And look, literally
for those who love Him.
Yeah, and literally right here. We know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and called according to His purpose. So, like, He's going to use even like the things that we as humans and we don't understand why they're happening. Like, why is this happening to me? It's like, well, it is,
right.
And there's good that will come out of it. There will be fruit that will come out of it. yeah, somebody, spoke some life into me the other day about, I guess a little bit of conflict with, in my life right now, that this person was saying that maybe there's persons in your life for good reason to kind of like help the both of you grow. If that makes any sense. Without saying names. But yeah, I mean, just being more of the Spirit and less of like my own will.
Yeah.
Like I want to, like I know what I need to do, but I don't do what I need to do.
Right.
Yeah.